go. There's one thing I just wanted to say though that you touched on, which is what did you say, the crystal anatomy or the crystal
The atomic structure.
atomic structure? What is that?
So
Such a nerd.
crystals are, sorry?
Such a nerd. I love it. Tell us all about
So crystals are minerals, which means that they have an internal arrangement of atoms. So their ingredients are different elements from the periodic table: iron and chromium and silicon and oxygen, etc. So the way that these atoms bond and create molecules and then create building blocks that then build upon each other repetitively and then create this sort of internal arrangement of atoms. And so this internal arrangement is what gives rise to the symmetry of the crystal, the shape of the crystal, and the different optical and physical properties of the crystal, like the color and their hardness and their tenacity. So once we can sort of decipher what the chemical composition is, we can then understand what these properties are, and vice versa. Sometimes the properties help us understand what the composition is. So that's what crystallography is all about. That's what lights me up and what I love sharing about crystals, particularly when it comes to helping people understand the vibrational, energetic, electrical properties of crystals.
That was going to be my next question. The energetic imprint and the vibration of crystals. I find that so fascinating. And I think what I love about crystals is that you can take it on two levels. You can take it as the literal stone and its beauty and how much you enjoy that and the value you get from that. But you can also look at it from this other perspective, which is the energy and vibration of the crystal individually and their individual makeup, I suppose. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to food, right? Like we love food because of how it tastes and the memories associated with certain dishes and the flavors and the countries. But then there's the nutritional side as well, which is, micro and macronutrients. So if you think of crystals in the same way, like you said, you can appreciate them just for their beauty. You can collect them because they're valuable. You can admire them. But you can also lean into their vibrational and their electrical properties as well. So what I love to and what sort of like blew my mind during the process of learning gemology and crystallography is about the electrical properties and how commonly used they are in our everyday life. From clocks to hair dryers to barbecue lighters, crystals are produced commercially in massive quantities. Tons and tons of quartz is produced every year for their electrical properties. So there's lots of ways that we can kind of be like, oh, okay, like a barbecue lighter works because a crystal is placed under pressure, and a hairdryer takes the frizz out of my hair because there's a tourmaline crystal in there. So yeah, they are used for their electrical properties, and it's due to their internal atomic structure. And so there is a portion of crystals and minerals, not all of them, and that's a whole other masterclass to explain that. But when you place, as an example, a quartz crystal under heat or pressure, it produces a positive, I've got one here, a positive and negative charge at either end of the crystal. There we go. Both got a Himalayan quartz. Don't leave home with that one. And then those vibrations are increased and can be used to, power certain objects or produce a burst of energy. So we can use crystals in that way by warming them up and squeezing them, but also their makeup is atoms, and everything in the universe vibrates. Each atom has its own atomic weight and its own vibration. And so crystals have their own unique makeup, a very specific arrangement of atoms, a very specific composition of atoms. So they each have their own very unique vibrational energy that we can attune to as well, with or without heat and pressure, of course.
Okay, so that's fascinating. And in a moment, we're going to get onto the sourcing of the crystals, because I know that's a really big part of the conversation, particularly for you. But let's just give a little example then. So why I've got my clear Himalayan, clear here, which is part of the beautiful collection with you. Why do you not leave home without it? What is so special about this crystal? that you carry it around with you, and it gives us an insight, I suppose, into those energetical vibrational properties of the crystal.
Well, quartz is known as the master healer. It's one of the highest vibrational stones. It has the most what am I trying to say? It has an energy that is quite easy to connect to, right? These are subtle vibrations we're working with. We're not working with something that's going to make our hand shake, or something that's going to have a really tactile or profound physical change right in front of our eyes. They are subtle energies that we're working with. And I find that quartz is the easiest one for me to be able to connect to. It's one of my favorites. It's abundant, it's affordable. There's so many boxes that quartz ticks, really. It comes in a variety of colors. The Himalayan quartz in particular comes from a very, very high altitude. These are from the Nepal side of the Himalayas. And they just have this really beautiful energy that is quite clean and quite easy to connect to. I don't leave home without at least one in my bag, in my pocket. I have them all over my desk. I wish I could show you. I can see about 12 pieces from where I'm sitting at the moment. And each day I have my micro ritual in the morning, my mindful moment where I set my intention for the day. And my quartz crystal is my little anchor, my little reminder for the day of what that intention is. And I set my intention and have my crystal there. So when I'm feeling flustered, or I've got a negative mindset that might sweep in, or things aren't going to plan, or I'm slipping into old habits, or I'm just needing that little reminder of what I'm working on and how I want it to feel for the day. Like, my quartz crystal it's always there. It's like a little, I don't know, it's like a little personal coach in a crystal. I sort of think about it that way.
Love that.